Welcome to Misery Zone. My name's Kurt Burdick, and I am proud to be a comic book collector and sharing that on social media via videos. I've shot this multiple times at this point. I was already tired, but I keep fucking up the lighting. So, this is my pitch to sell my fucking Death Power 5 book on Kickstarter this Saturday, August 10th through the 20th. You'll be able to pick this book up. It's really good. I'm really proud of it, and I think you'll get a kick out of it. So take a look at it. There'll be a link in the description below. I was going to continue to talk about lettering with this book, Uncle Scrooge and the Infinity Dime. Beautiful cover by Alex Ross. Italian artists, about a team of Italian artists did each chapter. So there's about 8 people that worked on the art here. Oh, I'm sorry. Because I'm tired, I did not count correctly. But they're Italian names, so you got to give me that. It can be confusing. There's 6 artists that did the art. It looks like chapter 2 had a penciler. Chapters 2 and 3 had a penciler and inker. Chapters 1 and the epilogue had 1 artist. I could try to say their names, but it wouldn't be good. Jason Aaron was a writer. He did a good job. My only complaint with the story, and it's a very, very small complaint, is there is a Rick and Morty vibe to it, because it's dealing with, multiple versions of Uncle Scrooge, which is very similar to Rick and Rick and Morty. But that's fine. It's basically a comic for an 8-year-old. And if I was 8, I would love the shit out of this comic. So it's a success on that front. There's interesting things in this. One of the things I liked a lot was in the very back, they have an original, I believe, Carl Barks story. And it was just interesting to compare the old process of making comics versus the new. Which the new is much flashier, much more detailed, and a wide color spectrum, and a lot more dialogue. I noticed, like, particularly this page. Throughout, that was the one thing, like, when comparing the modern comic to this old one, was the amount of lettering on the page. Like, it's in this old book by Carl Barks, it's very precise and to the point of what the characters are saying and for what reason. And there, almost within each panel, there is like a natural gag. So everything is interrelated here, which I find real interesting. And, very simple cartooning, simple color palette, very precise. And it reads really, really well. The lettering's organic. I feel like there's a lot of, subtle acting within the lettering. Zao, that's a great letter. Great sound effect with a sound effect made of letters. I am tired, so I apologize. Not that I always talk like this. I barely make sense most of the time, so that's so fun. Look at that guy. Yeah, it's a pissed off bear. Oh shit. Snarl, rip, growl. Then he takes a sigh. He takes a nap. Oh yeah, one of the cool things, and again, this is something that you probably, like, since everyone's using fonts these days, I'm pretty sure if this exact comic was made today, this Psy and this word balloon for this Psy would look exactly the same as this Psy. And since this is all done traditionally, you get a lot more push and pull and, you know, artist discretion and how the lettering conveys the emotion of the character. Um, the other thing so like I said earlier, like a lot less lettering, a lot less words per word balloon in this old comic versus the Jason Aaron comic. Because look how much dialogue is being said here. I know there's a lot of exposition that he has to get across, especially for a complex story about the multiverse. Um, but still, like, look at this. And one thing I noticed is like these modern comics, you know, they have a lot of detail, a lot of complexity to them. But does that complexity make it a fun reading experience? Or a more fluid reading experience is probably a better way to say it, because you have all this detail. You have this detail in the background. You see all the gold. You see, you know, these rolling hills of money. But then you also have all this text, and I believe like that this word balloon is so filled with words because it's easier to fit in the dialogue. Like there's a lot more flexibility to adjust the dialogue because it is digital, because it is vector. It doesn't take long to go to like rearrange what this is saying to add more. But just looking at it as a page without being engrossed in the story, because it did flow when I read it. It flowed well and it read well. But just looking at it aesthetically, this does feel pretty like like roadblocks in reading the visual narrative on the page, because there's like these blocks of text, boom, boom, boom. Whereas in this other one, there's less words per balloon. And I think that, and there's also less detail in the background. And I think those two things actually make it easier to visually read, you know, just from an aesthetic point of view. Um, and also, you have a continuous color palette. Indoors, it's yellow, green, a little bit of red. So warm colors. Outdoors, blue, cool colors. So I guess there's a little bit of switch there. But basically, that's the color palette. And it doesn't really deviate from that. And it doesn't need to. It, it's, it has everything it needs. Where you're going at this, it is very beautiful, very well done, but it's also very busy and intimidating to 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 read. Just on a or to be engaged with is a better way of saying it, I think. But I don't know. You know what? Jason Aaron got, you know, he got paid for this shit, and people like it. I like it, so he's doing it right. But it's just an interesting comparison between modern comics and a classic comic like by Karl Barks. I think again, just aesthetically, the minimalist approach seems to be a more pleasing way to pleasing for my eye in reading a comic, like where it doesn't feel like effort. Like this doesn't feel like effort to read. On an aesthetic level, the initial feeling is that this is effort to read, but that can be a good thing. You know, I actually like that in a lot of comics when there's a feeling that you have to really engage with the book and almost figure it out. Of course, this is a very simple story, basically like a Rick and Morty story, but with Uncle Scrooge. And I'm sure he's playing off of the Marvel multiverse nonsense too. And again, I'm just really impressed that this is 6 different artists, 6 different hands working on this one story. And I couldn't tell the difference between these artists. Like it seems like it's a really talented team that are really skilled at drawing these ducks. I know there's a lot of Italian duck comics, like Uncle Scrooge comics and Mickey Mouse comics. I think there's a school in Tuscany, from what I remember, that focuses on teaching cartooning. So I just wonder if these artists are from there. But I could be wrong. I remember hearing that there was a school in Tuscany that would focus on the Italian Disney comics. But yeah, really, really talented artists for sure. And all working at the same skill level and working as a team. So that's really, really impressive to me. So yeah, it's a good book. And because it is great to have this backup from Carl Barks, so you can like look at, the classic cartooning versus modern cartooning with all the bells and whistles and effects stuff. So there's pluses for both. I just find it real interesting for me to analyze the differences between them. So that's it today. Again, I apologize, I'm pretty tired, so hopefully I made some sense. Oh, there's other issue. So, and I'll end this video on this note. As long as I'm fucking recording, which I am, good, thank God. But so Popeye, the greatest comic book / cartoon character in known history. He also had 3 bizarre, fucked up, nephews that looked exactly like him, had the fucked up arms, had the missing eye. And I forgot their names. It doesn't matter. I don't remember these kids' names. These ducks, these weirdo ducks that hang out with their uncle Donald. What the fuck? But anyways, my thesis is that the Popeye 3 little nephews could beat the shit out of these fucking ducks. And also, my other thesis, this motherfucker, Donald Duck, wouldn't last a second in the ring with Popeye. Popeye would fucking destroy this goddamn, boomer. Well, I guess he's not a boomer. I guess he's a war generation. Still, Popeye is also, he's I think Popeye's a World War I generation. He's either way. Also, Popeye served in World War II. Thank you. I know that. I saw the cartoons. And so did Donald Duck. But guess what? Donald Duck was Hitler. And Popeye would kick the shit out of him. So that's it. That's my thesis. Popeye and his 3 nephews would beat the shit, the living crap out of these little turds of ducklings. Oh, look at that. It's a little teddy bear. Oh, shit. So yeah, that's it. All right, talk to you later.